Hello there, kia ora. There are a few examples of alt-right idiots out there who are the perfect example of what we call the Dunning-Kruger effect when it comes to the way that they view media. These people are so stupid that they don't realize how stupid they sound, claiming that our mainstream media is a bunch of left-wing shills. Most people realize that that's not the case, of course, and people whose outlook has been radicalized in any direction often have trouble seeing that they're the ones who are wrong. They don't see that they've changed. They think that the media itself has changed. But this week, I came across a perfect example that we can show you to prove how the mainstream media can control narratives in a specific way and push specific perspectives, and how at least one media outlet's been doing that to push right-wing ideologies. This outlet is the New Zealand Herald, which is a really good tool of choice because the Herald has always been conservative. It pushes conservative values and talking points and platforms conservative voices, but the disinformation swallowing, rabbit hole dwelling mouth breathers on the alt-right like to call it a woke newspaper. So it's a great example to use. On Thursday, there were actually 4 stories that highlighted this when put together. The big one, well, this is the story of Golriz Grauman, which has hit the headlines about another shoplifting incident. But there's a bit of a problem here. You see, Golriz resigned from Parliament a year ago, but apparently it still needs to be headline news. Headline news that the police wouldn't confirm her involvement in. The owner of the business wouldn't confirm it. Her flatmate wouldn't confirm it. Her lawyer wouldn't confirm it. And she wouldn't confirm it. No one would go on record to confirm who was involved. So the Herald reported this as the Herald understands and ran a story with a very definitive perspective in their headline. Despite it being a year since she resigned, the Herald still catastrophized it, with no one actually confirming it in the story. Now, this story was their most viewed on their website on Thursday morning. It was not hidden behind a paywall. What was hidden behind a paywall, though, was content that makes the coalition government look bad. There was this story about the inappropriate use of funds from a tourist levy. It set up a showdown between parties about the use of the tourism levy increase last year to make the government books look better than they are instead of being reinvested into tourism infrastructure, as it's designed for. But the general public can't read that whole story. There's this story about the Public Service Commissioner having issues with a number of meetings in the public service, which was also paywalled. Or this story about how inflationary pressure was dropping due to international factors, but our government was actually partially responsible for increased day-to-day costs like food and fuel. They keep open the highly inflammatory, targeted news with no sources and limit the readership and therefore the impact on content that could make something like the government look like it's doing bad. And the outcome is not that shocking. When a media outlet builds an audience and guides what they read and are influenced by, out of catastrophizing and finding ways to victimize minorities, they shouldn't be surprised when they have to shut comments on this type of story. Like this one, about a wedding of the first openly gay All Black, where the comments were so bad that they needed to be shut down. But there will be people out there who still think that they are a left-wing rag with bias against the government. The reality is, mainstream media still has a lot of tools to influence public discourse and to shape the discourse and public views around it. But we also know that most people don't have the skill set to recognize this. But keep an eye out for these tricks to help keep yourself informed and to inform other people around you of just how different media outlets can control narratives and therefore control the way you think about things. Hey, thanks for checking out today's video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so you get more updates as we go along. We deal with these guys for the rest of the year.